All right, I have a special treat today. I'm with Erin Leahy, and Erin is part of what has been known as the first family of Celtic Canadian music, and it's just a pleasure to have you. Having Celtic roots myself, I just love the genre, and I'd love to know more about Leahy because you guys are really more than just your Celtic family roots, especially on your latest release. So if you want to talk to what the band is all about and your influences, that'd be great.
Sure. Um, well, it goes back quite a ways. Our parents are both musical, and mom comes from Cape Breton, so there's a Scottish tradition there, and dad is of Irish descent. And so we grew up with that foundation, Celtic
Hmm.
foundation, being placed in Lakefield, Ontario, which is where we grew up.
Hmm.
We had access to a lot, Toronto was right there and often performed there, and then performed a lot in the US, but we just exposure to various kinds of music. And so our parents, we all took classical training as well in
Hmm.
piano, violin, some vocal training. And then our parents had a band. Dad played fiddle, mom played piano, and in the band there was a singer and there was an accordion player and a drummer and a bass player, and so they were
Hmm.
kind of a dance band as well.
Right. Hmm.
So we again were just exposed to any popular music that was out there, and some swing music, and
Hmm.
and then a little down the line some jazz. And so what happens is all of that seeps into your knowledge and your capacity for composing. It taps into that, and then so you come out with music that is, has that foundation, and I don't think that will ever go away, but not that we would want it to go away, but yeah.
Right.
So spices of this and that mixed
Yeah.
in with our
Now, would you say that that's something that's more quintessentially Canadian? I love a lot of Canadian artists. I just loved the band, which had a lot of Canadian members, and they brought in a lot of influences, not just the blues, but definitely blues based. But you would hear, accordion and fiddle, and you've got Oscar Peterson and Diana Krall, who I'm sure you love as a piano player. Um, so who are some of the notable Canadian artists that you like and other band members may like?
Well, certainly Oscar, you mentioned him.
Yeah.
He has been great inspiration to me, and I mean, he's a real standout, that guy. But
Yeah.
who else? Uh,
Randy
golly,
Bachman. Everybody loves Randy Bachman in Canada,
Randy
right?
Bach. We did a show in Ottawa for Canada Day one time, and
Hmm.
the was playing at it, and I remember during sound check, hearing and watching their sound check, and I was just so impressed with yeah. So there are many. I mean, not as many as what's around the world, but um
Did
Canadian.
you got to say Natalie McMaster? You're gonna have a
Oh
family
yes,
family row,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely, yeah. Uh, Natalie for sure. Golly, I'm just thinking now of it. I'm tracing back throughout the years, and names. Well, they'll come.
Sure,
But
sure, no worries. Now, Natalie actually stole a family member, Donnell. Uh, are you guys still mad about that, or how's that set with the family?
yeah, no, we uh, ever since we started playing, which was many, 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 many years ago now, um, we had to just kind of adapt to what's going on with the family
Sure.
life. And so new people would be added at about the age of 3 or 4.
Hmm.
And then as time goes on and life unfolds, there have been people kind of coming in and out throughout the years for various reasons, whether they get married or they are going to school or having children. And so it has been that way for a long time.
Right, right. I think Natalie and Donnell are the same way. They love to have the kids in the show.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. Currently, how many people are touring with the band, and are they all family members right now?
We have, there are 9 of us out on this tour,
Hmm.
and 5 of us are siblings, myself and 4 other siblings, and then we have 4 of Frank's children with us as well, and they're
Nice,
performing.
and Frank is drummers,
Frank's the
and
drummer.
boy, he really looks a lot like Donnell, actually.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so what is it like to tour and work with family? My family roots are in, South Boston, kind of rough around the edges. And I know that, my siblings and I had some rows to beat the band. But we love each other intensely. So living and working and touring, that's good. That's a lot of FaceTime.
Hmm. Well, we're used to it. That's number
Yeah.
one. That's the first thing. Second thing would be, we do enjoy traveling around with each other. We always have. Um, Working with each other, you develop a way of doing that, and that has been developing for years as well. We
Hmm.
don't always agree with every matter or musical choice, those types of things. But again, we have ways of just, arriving at whatever the answer is for that one question. And so it's really enjoyable, actually. We get to share, and very often, we're out here on the West Coast, and we're recalling the last time we were out here, and we have so many shared experiences
Mm.
that that's very valuable, it's
Yeah.
very meaningful.
I often say that when you get to tour, you become a resident of the world. It's a very unique perspective, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely it is. Even just, you know, recalling, for the first time, some of Frank's kids are seeing the West Coast of the United States. And
Mm.
we just drove from Oregon to California yesterday. And my goodness, what an absolutely stunning route through the mountains.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
So, all of those things, they leave an imprint. They leave
Hmm.
not only a memory, but just to experience that beauty, and then to experience it all together, and then to be able to recall it and share it. And it's really meaningful, as I said. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that help the songwriting process? Is some of the songwriting done on the road, or do you find it off the road? I mean, I know that some people are very deliberate in the way that they write and vet songs, and
Uh-huh.
I actually started watching the videos you guys did, doing deeper dive on how the family functions, and you guys seem to be really good about vetting tunes that are brought to the group.
Hmm.
Maybe you can talk to that.
Sure. Um, Writing happens, it could happen anywhere. And at the same time, when you're home and you have that sort of a home schedule, you can, decide exactly when you are going to do that too. So both of those sort of structured and not so structured um, writing times work. It just depends on where you are. But being on the road can be very inspiring, because you are, first of all, you're seeing new things that are stimulating you. And for example, let's say the drive yesterday, just the wide open spaces and the mountains in the distance and the sun and the beautiful greenery um, and the orchards. I mean, all of that just does something to you right away. But the fact that then you're performing each night and you have that direct contact with the folks who come to the shows, and you are getting to experience what they're experiencing from your music, it certainly is, there's an incentive there, um, hugely. So yes, you do find little bits of time where you might, go into a private room
Hmm.
and compose, or just allow that creative space to emerge a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good, good. Well, let's talk about the new release, Good Water. And I hear that it brings the ladies to the fore. And was that a deliberate thing in this project, or once you started peeling the layers of the onion, like, geez, we got a lot of material where we sisters are up front. maybe this is something we want to continue to focus on, or how did that all come about?
We had been wanting to record a record that featured vocals in our songwriting a bit more. And
Mhm.
so we just decided to do it with this record. And we had a bank of material, songs that had been written, some that were in the process of being written, and we just decided to choose that album. And then we asked David Bottrell, who is a producer, to join us for that, and he's more involved with vocal material.
Mhm.
A nice fit. So it was just it seemed like the right time, and that's
Yeah.
truly what inspired that. And so yeah, we did.
Well, that's great. Now speaking of the new record and the road show, and we're coming up on St. Patrick's Day, and I know a lot of bands like yourself make hay while the sun shines around St. Patrick's Day, and uh, looks like you're doing that with this tour. What can we expect from the tour? You're hitting my area, Old Saybrook, Connecticut, at the Katharine Hepburn Cultural Arts Center, March 14th. I'm originally from Boston, as I said, so I see you doing the Bull Run in Shirley, Massachusetts. Certainly a place I've spent a lot of places or times, and that's March 16th. And then you're at the City Winery in Boston right on St. Patrick's Day. Um, and then you head on right down through the Mid-Atlantic, um, and end up in early April in Frederick, Maryland. Folks can check out your website, leahymusic.ca, because it's a Canadian URL, and see all the dates. But tell me about what people can expect on this leg of the tour.
It's a bit of a mix of some older music, some new music, from the record, from
Hmm.
Good Water. Actually, some new music that we haven't recorded yet. That's we always like to incorporate some of that as well. And we have, as I said, Frank's four of Frank's with us, Frank's kids, and so they are performing, and so we have step dancing, and so it's a mix of singing, instrumental playing, originals, some traditional music,
Hmm.
and yeah, so
So you're leaving the dancing to the kids, or do the adults get into it at this stage? I know they're a lot more nimble than we are at our age now, but you know, actually love that component when I go to see Darnell and Natalie. Of course, Natalie grew up doing that, and I'm sure y'all did too. Tell me about the dancing aspect and how that converges with the music.
yes, well, it absolutely converges. The Some of the traditional pieces of Celtic music are written. The dances and the pieces are written. They're like fit like a glove.
Right.
So that's a natural. And so on our again with our children, they just are learning to dance and to play at a very young age, and so it's just a natural thing. And so they are predominantly doing the dancing,
Yeah.
but
Good.
you dance. We still dance, so you'll see some of
Yeah.
that too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All look like you're in great shape. You know. So that's great. Anything else that uh, you want to impart to my audience that we should know before we come out and see the band Leahy?
We haven't been to Connecticut too much over the years. We've been to different places, stores and other places, but so we're just really looking forward to it, and hopefully we will come back
Well,
quite a
like
bit.
they call it the Katharine Hepburn Cultural Arts Center for short, and it's a gorgeous venue, perfect size, still intimate, but still have enough people to get a great vibe, and the staging is wonderful. I think you'll have a good time there.
Good. That's the type of venue we particularly like.
Yeah, and it's beautiful here too, and probably not as warm as where you are, but it's a beautiful part of the country here along the Connecticut shoreline, and making a point to go out to the beach and have a look around.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I really appreciate the time, Erin, and I'll come and introduce myself when you get to the venue.
Wonderful.
Thanks so
Thank you
much.
so much.